Hey there, Internet friends. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Daphne's Detention. Welcome back, Internet friends. Today I will be going over the Nancy Guthrie case. I have some information for you that I believe you would like to hear, so stick with me and let's get started. So Nancy Guthrie has been missing for 24 days now, and there has been really no suspects or anything, according to the sheriff, right? I mean, they did have some people detained. They have taken in Annie Guthrie's vehicle allegedly, and we don't know if she's received her vehicle back. We do know that they've taken a gray Range Rover during a raid. We don't know if that's been given back. They've also taken the first detainee, Carlos. They have taken his cell phone, and as of the other day, they have not given his cell phone back. Now, I want to go over a quick timeline with you, and then I want to dig in to what I think could have possibly happened here. So let's get started with this timeline. I appreciate you sticking with me today. Could you please hit that like, share, and subscribe for my channel? We are trying to get to 25,000 subscribers, and I really can't do it without you. So let's dig into this. So we're going to start on January 30th, right? 2026. This was the day that Nancy hosted at her home a gathering. This would have been for her birthday gathering, from what I understand, right? And I noticed there's one person that attended this gathering that she was supposed to meet up with on February 1st. And we're going to dig into that a little bit deeper on Google Earth here in just a moment, as I have kind of tracked possible steps that maybe the perpetrator might have taken, and also possible steps that Nancy would have taken. So stick with me. So Nancy Guthrie hosted this get-together or gathering at her home on January 30th, 2026. We do know that Nancy's birthday is on January 27th, so she would have just had her 84th birthday. Now, Nancy and her friends like playing this game, right? This mahjong game. And it's kind of similar, I guess, to when you play dominoes or something. I don't know. I've never played the game, so I don't really know. You can let me know down below if you've played the game. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. So when she hosted this gathering at her house, we weren't told how many people actually attended this gathering. We just were told that her friend Anna Burnson was there, the one that she was supposed to go to church at her home and watch the service. So during the visit, Nancy confirmed plans with this friend. Now, did Nancy have any, how many people did Nancy have at her home? Did these people that came to her gathering, were they allowed to bring a +1 to the gathering, right? Maybe an acquaintance or a family friend of her friends that were supposed to come. This is important, in my opinion, because if one of her friends brought a +1, could have been like the perpetrator or a friend of the perpetrators, right? That was trying to gather intel on Nancy. We don't know this so far. But anyway, so during this gathering, they played games and stuff like that. Now, her friend Anna Burnson, they seem to always attend this church service, right, online. And it seems to be that they don't typically watch it at the same home every Sunday. They go and rotate to different houses, right? So the previous Sunday, right? I wonder if Nancy actually hosted the church services at her home. That would be something to look into, in my opinion. So this friend said that Nancy's alert. She's engaged, and participating normally during the gathering. There's nothing wrong with her, right? Now we were told that Nancy has troubles walking, right? Because of her heart condition. She has a pacemaker, has to take medications. She's got to have it within 24 to 48 hours. Some of these medications can actually thin your blood, and actually most of those heart medications thin your blood. So everything was fine, basically, at this gathering. We weren't told anything different, right? Now we're going to fast forward to January 31st. Nancy took a Uber, right, at 5:32 p.m. And she took this Uber to her daughter Annie's home. Annie is married to a man named Tommaso. And when she went to their home, they were supposedly playing this game as well, right? And having dinner is what we were told. Now, I don't know if I would have my mother take an Uber over to my home. I mean, just even 4.5 to 5 miles is still going to cost you some money. But maybe Nancy insisted that she wanted to take an Uber that night. We don't know the details on that. So around 9:48, after dinner and after playing the game, we do know that Tommaso, this is what we were told, drops Nancy off at her home, right? So you pull into Nancy's house, and basically the driver's side, if you pull up to her garage, the driver's side of the vehicle would be closest to the garage. Now, we were told that Nancy has to use a cane to walk. We were also told that she might have been drinking some tequila that night, as she has like her favorite tequila that she likes to drink. So wouldn't it take longer than 2 minutes, right? 9:48, drops her off, 9:50, door closes. So garage door opens, door closes. So I would think it would take her longer to get out of the car, walk around the vehicle into her garage, and get inside. But that's just me. So we're going to fast forward to February 1st. So at 1:47 a.m., our perpetrator disconnects the doorbell, right? The doorbell cam. And we've seen photos of that with him trying to put the foliage on the doorbell. And in my opinion, that foliage was used because when the camera detects a tree or a plant moving or just something blowing by, it usually just says motion. Now, if there's a person detected, the camera's going to say person detected. So I believe that they were doing this just so it would say motion, like something was blowing by the camera and wouldn't alert Nancy. Just my thoughts on it. So at 2:12 a.m., this camera software detects a person. So this is probably when they were putting this foliage on the camera, right? So the camera wouldn't detect a person. So there's no video available because Nancy didn't have a subscription. And this isn't a lot of people don't have subscriptions. Some of them don't even have like their cameras working. More than 50% of people have cameras and don't pay for the subscription. So what's the use, right? Anyways, at 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app on her phone disconnected because the phone was turned off. Now, we do know that Nancy was in her bed when the perpetrator, I guess that's when they grabbed her. She was in her bed. I don't know how they know this, other than maybe there could have been like blood or just some other evidence that proved that she was laying in the bed and the perpetrator grabbed her. Savannah even confirmed this in her new video today. So at 9 a.m., Nancy failed to appear at her friend Anna's home that morning, which is about 7 miles away from Nancy's house. And it goes on to say that early law enforcement reported describing this as a church appearance. So law enforcement, Chris Nanos, he has been, I think he talks in riddles, just my opinion. He will say something, then he'll take it back or twist words, right? So we were all kind of confused at first because we thought she was going to church, but ended up finding out she was attending a friend's house to watch the the stream, right? Savannah actually attended in person, but her mother actually watched it online. So, like I said earlier, they rotate homes, is from my understanding. At 11 a.m., concerned about Nancy's absence, the friend had contacted Annie and Tommaso, right? And they said, hey, Nancy didn't arrive. She can't be reached on her phone. So Annie and Tommaso ended up heading to Nancy's house and they checked on her, but yet she's not there. And they probably most likely seen the blood on the porch and the open back door. There was also a light that was broken on the side of the home close to where they just changed out, like they put some grounding rods for the electrical box. The electrician was there twice in January, and we did show that a couple of videos back. I will post those video links at the end of this if you want to catch up on those. At 12:15, the Pima County Sheriff's deputies responded. Nancy's car, phone, wallet, and everything still inside the home. And then they saw the blood drops and are leading outside towards the driveway. The doorbell cam had been completely removed at this time, you guys. So I want to bring you over to something. I'm going to remove this and we're going to go over to my maps. And why are we going to go over to my maps? Because I think this is very important. Let me do this, add this, and let's go to Google Earth. This is going to tell us a story, right? When you document certain like homes and the person's last whereabouts and where they were supposed to go, in my opinion, this tells us a story, right? So let's look at this map. This map actually shows a bunch of different things, right? So here in the blue, you actually have Nancy's house. This is Nancy's house, right? Nancy's house faces northwest. It faces northwest. And the front, like her door, like her front door. So her house is here. It faces northwest. I have drawn a line, and I'm going to show you where Nancy was supposed to go. I know there's two lines because one of the lines leads to the bloody gloves that they found. And this, of course, is the neighbor who has the gym show and stuff in Tucson. Okay, so we're going to leave out of Nancy's house, right? And to get out of Nancy's neighborhood, you would leave her driveway and make a right? Or you can even make a left if you want to go the long way, right? So you're going to come out of here and you're going to make a right and you're going to follow this road here. I'm going to just bring it down, North Mina Vista Road, right? And you're going to come out to North Campbell Ave. And I know you guys have heard a lot about this North Campbell Ave because the gloves and mask and all that stuff was found on that road. So now if you continue to drive down this road, there are a couple lights, right? But you could also take these back roads if you want. You can also come out here and take Sunrise Drive. So, but today we're going to take the main road, North Campbell Road. Now we know the FBI was searching here as well. They were focused over here, which is East River Road, you guys. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you the way Nancy would have taken to go to her church services the following day if she wasn't taken. So this is East River Road. Now just this yellow line, when you're drawing the lines, they don't quite follow the road. So just follow it here with my mouse. East River Road, right? And we're going to continue on going. I'm going to just kind of move it out some here. So she would continue on taking this East River Road, right? Keep on going down, and she would make a right here on this North Sabina Canyon Road. And that would be where her friend actually stays, right? So that's where Nancy would go to her church services. Now, I'm going to pull back out here. That's about a 7-mile drive. Now, I also want to show you a couple other things in the area. So here, they actually host a mahjong game here. This is on Oracle Road, where they've been going as well, right? Now, I know that they've been focusing more in this area here, but shouldn't they start actually looking where Nancy was supposed to be going the next day as well? Wouldn't you follow the footsteps of where she went the previous day and then where she was supposed to go the following day, right? So wouldn't you do that to try to, I don't know, just my opinion. So anyway, so they got all this stuff. The FBI did some searches over here. Then they did go check out. They did go check out this area here. So here's the Circle K where they got the camera footage and all that stuff. This is an old golf course that is closed down. I think JLR went there the other day. So Annie, now this is where Nancy went, right here. And I have the address a little bit different, so I'm not doxing somebody. So Nancy went to this house, which is Annie and Tommaso's house, right? The night she was taken. So they were the last people to see Nancy. Now, the FBI did a lot of searching here, which is about 3 blocks out from their home. So then they got the camera footage too, to most likely see when they went by or if they had a vehicle on camera or something like that. So Nancy got home, right, from Annie's home. Then the following day, she was supposed to go to her friend's house, which I just showed you out here. I think that's very, very important to follow those steps. So now I want to get into a couple different things here. When you look at Nancy's house, we were told that a light was actually busted out on her house, right? And this would have been in this area here. Right in this area, there was a light that was busted out. The perpetrator came through this area here, right? We could see it. We could all see where the perpetrator came in. Now, we were told that this back door was actually opened. This back door was opened. And we were told that there was no force at all. So could this person have had access to Nancy's home prior, within the last couple of days prior, is what I'm trying to say? Could they have been at Nancy's house prior, like through a gathering or something? That's kind of odd. Look at that. What is that? So maybe someone from the gathering was there and they left a back door or a window unlocked. What do you guys think? Comment below. So that evening, Tommaso pulls up. He pulls in Nancy's driveway, right? Pulls in her driveway and probably parks right here. Let's see if we can go down here. Probably parks right here. Or maybe even pulls up to here. Who knows? Nancy enters her garage. It takes her 2 minutes, right? So he might actually pull in like this, and Nancy gets out and goes inside. That was the last time anyone seen Nancy. Could the perpetrator have been waiting somewhere? Could he have been waiting somewhere in the backyard? Could he have been waiting on the side of the house for Nancy to get home? In my opinion, I think the perpetrator showed up to do one job only, and that was to get Nancy. I do not believe he was there to rob her, because she was the only thing that was taken. Nancy was taken and nothing else was taken. Why would you have a full backpack if you're going to rob somebody, right? Why are you going to wear all this clothing if you're going to rob somebody, right? We also could see that this guy is wearing a handgun in the front, but he's also got on probably like 3 or 4 pairs of gloves, in my opinion, right? He's also got on several layers of clothing as well. So to use a handgun, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to get your finger in there, right? With like 3 or 4 pairs of gloves on. Just saying. I don't know. But I wanted to go over something with you guys. This is what I think happened. And this is just my logical step-by-step reconstruction of the events that took place at Nancy Guthrie's home that night. You guys can let me know what events you think took place. If you agree with me or if you disagree with me, let me know, right? In my opinion, this man on the screen, he was hired by someone that knows Nancy. He had one thing to do, and that was get Nancy. I believe it was out of vengeance, right? He was paid from someone who wanted revenge, or like this person, in my opinion, feels that they are owed something from Nancy, right? Now we know that this guy was there for 41 minutes. I feel that in that 41 minutes, he was trying to actually talk to Nancy, maybe like, hey, if you do this, I'll leave you alone. Like basically make a deal with her. Like he was there to get her, right? But first he wanted to reason with her and be like, hey, if you give this person so-and-so money or put them back on the will, or if you change some assets around or something like that, then I'll leave. Why else would he be there for 41 minutes? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. This is what I think happened. Seeking revenge over a will or some kind of financial dispute. We'll just leave it at financial dispute, right? Someone close to Nancy. I'm not insinuating it's a family member or anything like that, but someone close to her hires a perpetrator, this guy here, right? An inside man. And then this back door or window or something had to be left unlocked, right? Had to be left unlocked for this guy to enter. Now, think about this. This person seemed to be okay with that doorbell camera. I mean, he didn't want it to send like a notification to her or anything like that. It's like, let me take that back. he was putting the foliage on the camera, in my opinion, so it would send a motion or stop sending motion alerts to her instead of sending a person detected. Because we do know in the timeline it says that a person was detected, right? But if he's sitting there putting the foliage over it's just gonna say motion detected. So anyways, the lights, right, on the corner of the house that I just showed you. He breaks the floodlight on the side of the house. This creates like a dead zone of total darkness, ensuring that when they eventually remove Nancy, that there won't be any lights, right? Now, we do know that there was a large moon that night. I think it's called a snow moon, right? So it's illuminated. Now, depending on the time that, like, we know that when he got there, this moon should have been high up in the sky at that point in time, just from the timeline that they had given us. So that would have been enough light to look around, in my opinion. So they had to get rid of extra light. So they knock out the light on the side of the house, right? That way, when they move her out, there won't be any motion activated lights or any extra added light to spot them. The camera, I'm going to go back to the camera. So I don't think they were really surprised by the exact placement of the doorbell camera. But since, I feel like they knew there wasn't a subscription. So I don't think they were that worried about it. But then at the end, they did take it off because they wanted it to trigger just like a natural motion, but not a person detected. That's why they put the foliage over it. I could be completely wrong, right? Why not just rip it off in the beginning, right? They didn't want to alert her that there was a person there or something. I don't know. That's strange. But I do feel that this perpetrator had been drinking or on something, but I could be wrong with that too, by the way he walks. So check this out. I feel that when they finally enter, there's a bedside confrontation, right, with Nancy. The perpetrator enters through the unlocked door or the window and goes straight to the bedroom. They immediately seize her phone, right? They turn it off, right? And this causes her pacemaker to stop syncing. Now, at 2:28 a.m., the struggle, there was probably a struggle. Maybe she hit her head, or maybe she kind of fought with them back and forth. Maybe there was some words or something. There had to have been a struggle in the bedroom for them to come out and say that she was taken from her bed. Just my opinion. There must have been blood or something in her bed. Now, I believe that they must have hit her like in the nose or something, just from my opinion, just from the vertical blood droplets discovered on the porch. And then we also heard that there was the same type of blood drops inside the house as well. We were never told the exact location of where the blood drops were in the home, but we were told or were shown the ones outside, right? Now, in my opinion, let me grab another photo. I think that this guy had a tarp or some type of blanket or something in his backpack. I do. Because when he bends over in certain photos, like the backpack doesn't move or anything like that. Like it's light, it's not heavy. And I know some tarps can be heavy, but I feel that he has a tarp in there because when he goes to remove Nancy, he's covering her up with something. Just my thoughts on it, but I could be wrong. Like to cover her up more when he's or cover her up when he's leaving. And then when he comes back, I want to show you this. When he comes back to remove the camera, let me show you. He doesn't have the backpack on anymore. So no backpack here. I think this was at the end when he came to remove the camera. What do you guys think? Do you think this was another night? Do you think this was when he came back to remove the camera because he noticed the foliage fell off, or maybe it fell off when they were moving her out the door? What do you think? I want to hear your thoughts below. So, you know, it's been 24 days. They are just now putting up no trespassing signs, though, in Nancy's yard. As of today, 24 days, they finally put up no trespassing signs in Nancy's yard because the police have been told that people are walking up on Nancy's property several times, and they still never put up police tape. So now the family, it looks like, is putting up no trespassing signs. So I want to show you that. No trespassing signs on the property after 24 days. People should have enough sense not to go on the property. Now, there also has been a DNA update, right? It's ridiculous. So they were able to get DNA, right? Mixed DNA, which provided the perpetrator's DNA mixed with the Nancy's. Now, we weren't told if it was like fluid or blood or just touch DNA. But unfortunately, they said that there was more of Nancy's than there was of the perpetrators. And they had to try to split that DNA. And when they did, they don't have enough of it to send a CODIS to get a match. So what are the next steps from that, you guys? What do you think? What are the next steps from that? I don't know. Now, this is the neighbors earlier. The neighbors are mad. They're mad.
Please, go away.
So that was earlier. That was earlier today. They have the same ladies that came out the other day, and they were in the neighbor's yard next door to Nancy, the one that has the blue tarp, you know, and they were using some kind of digging device, like a metal pole, and they were digging in the dirt, trying to find out if Nancy may have been there in the dirt or something. Now we've heard like maybe the Cajun Navy has showed up. Where is Nancy? Still nowhere, right? Nowhere to be found. Nancy is nowhere to be found. The clues that we got, basically, we've got Annie's vehicle they took in for evidence, right? They've taken Carlos's phone. They've taken this Range Rover that was said to be purchased like, I guess within a week or something. It was crazy. These people came out and they were really upset because he says, guys, the car sold a week ago to a guy with his mom, which is the home that they raided. Remember, the guy that purchased the car was the home that the FBI raided. And that was with the 70-year-old mother. And if you remember, the neighbor next door, she had no idea what was going on, right? And I think the guy's last name is Day. And the neighbor next door helped the 7-year-old mom. Like, she had no idea what the hell was going on. Now, we do know that there was a Kayla Day, and she was arrested with the guy that had bought the Range Rover for distributing drugs and stuff like that. Now, she's arrested for that, right? But they still have the vehicle. What does that have in connection with Nancy? What does this vehicle, the Range Rover, have in connection with Nancy? What does Carlos's phone have in connection with Nancy? He said, the only thing they have on me is my phone because it pinged. What does that mean, right? He's a delivery driver. And do you know the area where he works is in the area of where all that stuff was found? Then Annie's business is over there too. So I find it quite coincidental, right? It's like, what do all of these things have in common? The phone, the two vehicles. They searched Annie and Tommaso's home allegedly 5 times. I mean, earlier we could see them taking photos, right, in their garage. Looked like they were doing maybe luminol or something, allegedly. Could they have picked up somebody that could be in connection? So that was the night that they were looked like taking photos or using luminol, and they had flashlights and stuff like that. That was on February 8th. Okay. Goodness gracious. It's so much. And then we found out that they purchased some homes and stuff too, right? In June, Annie and Tommaso allegedly purchased some properties same month, June 2025, it looks like. We've also heard that Annie likes to do real estate, so maybe that has nothing to do with it. Why now? My question for you is, why now? Why now take Nancy? What has changed within the past week or so before Nancy's disappearance, right? Somebody needs to sit down and look at what's changed. Someone that has all the evidence. They also need to follow the tracks. Well, it seems like they followed her tracks from that night, right? From the people that last had contact with her. Now they need to follow her tracks to where she was supposed to go with her friend, right? So follow the tracks from the day before, follow the tracks where she was supposed to go, where I showed you on the maps just a moment ago. Find out who was in close proximity, who was at her game host, where she was hosting the game for her birthday, and whoever was there, did they bring a +1 with them? Now, we do know that there was an electrician. I spoke of this recently. Electrician that had come to the house in January. This was in the beginning of January. They had come out twice, and that was for putting grounding rods or wires or something in the ground. I don't know really how to say it. I'm not an electrician, so I know they can put grounding. Sometimes older homes don't have grounding wires, and you have to get them put in later. So what do you think? Also, where is the camera footage from when the FBI took the camera off the roof? Where's that footage? Did it catch anything? We also heard that there might have been cameras in the home. Were those cameras like nanny cams or something? What do you guys think? Like, were they nanny cams? Also, when the perpetrator left that night, right? When the perpetrator left that night, which way do you think they went? Do you think they went out the same way that Tommaso would have went back to his house? Or do you think they went the other opposite direction? Like you would go towards Anna's house, you know, the person she was supposed to meet at her home for church the next day. What do you guys think? Where would the perpetrator actually park? Because, you know, if they grab Nancy out of the house, they're not going to be able to walk that far with her. She has trouble walking down to the end of her driveway, you guys. Walking down to the end of her driveway, she has trouble. Not that she can't do it. She just has trouble, right? Probably gets out of breath some because her heart's not well. So where did these people park when they took Nancy? Now, we heard that there was a home for rent somewhere behind Nancy's house. Could they have parked there and then carried her in the back? Maybe that's what the tarp was for, to carry her, right? What if they detained her and then put her in the tarp, if there was two, and carried her? Could the one person have carried her by themselves with all that clothing and stuff on? What do you guys think? And then we have this photo here, right? And this photo here, I believe it's the last step. I think they were coming back to tear the camera off. And I know some people are like, oh, it's a different day. It's a different day. Well, they're there for 41 minutes, right? So unfortunately, this photo is cut off, so you can't see where the moon is in this photo, but it would be nice though, because by the moon phases, you would be able to see better. So do you think this is a different night, this photo here? Or do you think it's the same night? Do you think it's a different person? I want you to comment below. I kind of feel that it's the same person. I mean, it's the same kind of outfit, but without the backpack on. Like it's the same build, everything, right? Yes, we can't really see the shoes, but I can kind of see like some black marks there, but that could be the pants on the bottom. I think this was the last visit to grab the freaking camera. Now, unfortunately, you can't see any blood or anything on the doorsteps here, but the camera's not really showing that, right? Because we know the blood was like closer up towards the front door. So what do you guys think? Same guy, same night? I want to hear your thoughts on it because I feel like it's the same guy. It's the same type of body, right? So here we have this right here. Look. This is like a white zipper in the front. Let's see what the other one looks like. Let's see. That's a white zipper in the front. So when he takes off the backpack, this is what it looks like. Right? It almost kind of looks like a jean shirt, but just to me in the back, maybe. I don't know. And it's hard to see the holes in the eyes, right? Like, let's see. It's hard to see it, but you would think, though, with an illuminating snow moon, that it would be a lot brighter out there. Like, you should be able to see way more. But it just all depends on the camera's view and stuff like that, too. So, all right. So, with the camera view here, it's kind of cutting off. So, this photo here, this is what I was just thinking. You know, the plant down below and then the lights here. I think this is after they've already moved the camera. Because if you go here, the camera's got a whole wide view of this door. Look at that. Whole wide view of this door. But then when you go to that one, the camera doesn't, unless somebody's cropped off this photo, right? I don't have the original photos other than what the FBI gave us. So look, the camera's already been moved. Look at that. Already been moved. And it looks like the camera's closer too. Do you see that? Unless they're zooming in. They could also, like when we got the photo, the FBI could have gave us a zoomed in photo from the camera. And that might be actually what it is. I think that's what it is. They zoomed in on the software when they were reviewing the footage. And that's what it is. That's why we're not seeing the full door. See? It's zoomed in because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. And this one you have 1, 2, 3, 3.5 visibly shown. So this photo here is a zoomed in photo, I believe, of the final time that they were at the house. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts below. And I know this video is pretty long. Go back through my Google Maps. Let me know what you think. That would have been the 7 miles Nancy would have traveled the next day if she wasn't taken. She would have taken that exact route, most likely, right? Could this person be somebody in her close circle? Or could this person be paid by someone in her close circle? I want to hear your thoughts below. I appreciate you all for watching, and make sure you hit that like button. That way you're always notified when I update new episodes of Daphne's Detention. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.